Unveiling the incredible truth, 200 fallen angels exposed in Antarctica, a divine plan revealed. In the 3rd year of Jehoiakim, as the shadows encroached upon the hearts of men with immeasurable wickedness, one man emerged as a beacon of righteousness: Noah, son of Lamech. The earth was a tapestry woven with sin, a landscape marred by corruption, where the cries of the innocent were drowned beneath the cacophony of wicked laughter. It was in this tumultuous time that Noah, steadfast in his faith, took heed of the whispered warnings echoing in the shadow of Mount Hermon, hallowed ground marked by the rebellion of the sons of God, who had forsaken their heavenly abode and intermingled with the daughters of men, giving rise to the Nephilim. As he labored tirelessly to construct the great ark commanded by Yahweh, each swing of his mallet thundered like Judgment Day, for he was aware of what lay ahead. The fallen angels, draped in deceit, roamed the earth, scheming to undermine God's divine decree. "Why do you toil against the tide of mankind's desire, Noah?" they hissed in dark, velvety tones, calling him to abandon his holy quest. But resolute was Noah, a chosen vessel within the genealogy of Seth, whose heart resonated with the covenant promises whispered by God. Every day, the sun cast rays upon the mighty peaks of Mount Hermon, their grandeur contrasting with the corruption of the land below. Yet within that beauty lay a terrible truth, a battlefield where celestial beings once fell and found their punishment in bondage for their grave transgressions. Noah felt his spirit wrestle with the weight of the world as scorn, a paralyzing doubt instilled by the mocking of his neighbors, who roared with laughter at his delusions of a flood. Yet his faith anchored him against the encroaching waves of disbelief. As he chisels wood and bends metal, his nights are haunted by visions of giants whose shadows darken the earth, and Noah's heart pulses with urgency, feeling the weight of history attempting to swallow him whole. He recalls the ancient prophecies, the chains of darkness that bind the adversaries, held in timeless isolation, awaiting the day of reckoning, an echo of God's judgment reverberating through the ages. "Father, it has not rained," his sons beseech, their eyes dimmed with worldly doubt. "Why do we prepare?" Yet Noah, recalling the sacred words spoken to him, answers with the conviction of a prophet. He remembers the covenant, not merely ink on papyrus, but a living bond with the Almighty. Inside him simmered the promise of deliverance. Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select all notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments, which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey? I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. As the storm clouds gathered above, heavy and ominous, Noah lifted his eyes once more to Mount Hermon, where the shadows whispered, taunting him with dark conspiracies of his faith. In that moment, the weight of the impending darkness collided with the promise of God, leaving Noah craving the divine purpose woven within this cosmic struggle. Will his unwavering faith be enough to shield him from the tempest of evil? The narrative thickens as the boundary between earth and heavens quakes. The rain has not yet fallen, but the world is on the brink. A reckoning is at hand. What awaits Noah as he presses onward, a solitary candle flickering in a storm of chaos? And it came to pass, as the days lengthened, that the heavens held their breath, and an unnatural stillness enveloped the land. Noah, laboring without cease, felt a tremor within his heart, and sensed the weight of unseen eyes watching. The mocking laughter of men echoed less frequently, replaced by a palpable unease, as if the very earth mourned for its transgressions. "Father, the wood is weary," Shem, his eldest son, declared, laying aside his tools. "The ark grows heavy, yet our hearts feel the burden of the storm to come." Noah paused, lifting his hands towards the heavens, where clouds began to churn, darkening with the promise of rain that had never touched the earth. His heart swelled with righteous resolve. "Fear not, for the Lord has commanded this work. We are not entrusted with a burden, but with a purpose." In this ominous atmosphere, the whispers of the fallen grew sharper, darker. "See, Noah, the world is desolate, your toil in vain. Join us, and embrace the power of the age." They seduced him with promises of dominion and glory. Yet, Noah remained unshaken, for in the depths of his being thrummed the covenant, a sacred oath given by the Almighty. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Genesis 6 verse 18. Every hammer's strike resonated through the dimming light, reverberating with the truth of impending destruction. Each piece of the ark became a sanctified testimony against the darkened hearts of humanity, a witness to the righteous judgment soon to unravel. As this divine geometry took shape, so too did the final days of judgment draw near. The clouds thickened, gathering like the darkened thoughts of humanity. One evening, as the sun set in a fiery blaze of orange and crimson, a messenger from heaven alighted upon the ark. The angel's visage glowed with divine purpose, his voice a clarion call. Fear not, Noah. The time appointed has drawn near. The patience of the Lord is an opportunity for repentance, yet the hearts of men are hardened. Noah trembled not at the sight, but marveled at the majesty of God's messenger. What must I do? He inquired, his hands trembling. Continue in your labor, for the door of grace will soon be shut, and only those who heed the call shall be saved. You are the last hope, the echo of righteousness amidst great unrighteousness. Days turned into weeks, and still the rains tarried. But a deep agitation stirred in the depths of Noah's heart. The gathering clouds no longer threatened mere rainfall. They whispered of a flood that would drown all flesh in the profound depths of the earth. The sins of mankind rose like smoke unto the face of God, and Noah pleaded, O Lord, the hearts of your creation turn from you. Have mercy. Then, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the heavens trembled as though ready to break. An unsettling stillness swept over the landscape, pregnant with anticipation. The moment was upon them, a divine intervention brewing like a tempest, prepared to spill forth not merely the waters of the deep but also the judgment long prophesied. And as Noah continued his unwavering task, he felt the earth shudder beneath his feet. What must come to pass is in your hands, Father, he whispered, resolutely holding on to the promise of salvation. Little did Noah know, behind the scenes of creation, God wove a greater tapestry, a plan unfurling that would not end with mere judgment, but would usher in a new beginning, a rebirth through the chaos. For the echoes of grace would not be silenced. The realm divine was about to unveil its astonishing mystery. As the days continued in an agonizing stillness, the weight of sorrow pressed heavy upon the earth. The burden of sin, like a thick fog, seemed to cloud the very air Noah breathed. Day after day, the rhythm of hammering on would echo through the valley, the sound a stark contrast to the silent cries of a world lost in wickedness. Father, Ham spoke one day, glancing uneasily at the darkening skies, the people talk of you as if you are mad. They mock our efforts, yet a heaviness hangs over us. His words were laced with concern for the fate of his kin and the cruelty of their neighbors. Noah paused in his labor, setting aside his tools, his heart aching as he beheld the faces of his sons. They do not see what is to come, my sons. But we are to be witnesses of the Lord's faithfulness. He placed a reassuring hand on Shem's shoulder. We are the remnant, the bearers of hope amidst despair. The storm clouds loomed ever closer, an ethereal promise of divine wrath hanging in the balance. As evening descended, a chilling wind swept across the land, a prelude to the fury to come. The air shimmered with palpable tension as shadows danced around them, mingling with the last rays of light. Noah raised his eyes to the heavens, praying for courage in the face of mockery. Then it happened, a deep rumbling like the sound of a great beast stirring in slumber. The very ground shuddered beneath their feet, making the work of their hands seem fragile and fleeting. Terror gripped Noah's heart, yet his faith remained steadfast. O Lord, he cried out, remember your covenant. As he uttered those words, a voice as deep as the earth and as reverberating as thunder resonated above. You have been found righteous in my sight, Noah. It was the Lord, speaking directly into the turbulent night. Prepare the ark, for my fury will cleanse this earth and start anew. All at once, the air shifted, heavy with a sense of impending transformation. Noah's heart was emboldened. He summoned his sons, declaring, the time is at hand. Gather the final preparations, bring forth the animals as the Lord has instructed. We shall be ready. And as they collected every creature according to their kind, the ground continued to tremble ominously. Within the darkness, Noah discerned that it was not merely the earth that quaked, but the hearts of men tremoring at the brink of destruction. Reports came to them from afar, of a great discontent rising among humanity. Cities once filled with laughter now echoed with dread, for the people sensed the birth pangs of judgment. Men and women, once solid in their defiance, began to huddle together, whispering tales of fear and foreboding. Yet, in this time of peril, a vision came upon Noah. He beheld a multitude of shadows, dark figures banned to the abyss, whose whispers sought to lead the hearts of men astray. They seek to sow doubt, but stand firm, the Lord spoke unto him again, for even in darkness my light will pierce the veil. With renewed fervor, Noah and his sons labored under the growing shadows of a storm that threatened to unleash the wrath of God upon the earth. The nights grew longer, as the mocking voices diminished into fearful murmurs. Days passed, and just as the appointed hour seemed inevitable, whispers of fear gripped the land, and the people turned against one another. Their hearts, overshadowed by sin, twisted in resentment, leading their kind to violence. As he fastened the last plank upon the ark, Noah suddenly felt a great sense of urgency. The time has come for the Lord to fulfill his promises. At that moment, from the depths of the ocean, a wave of truth cascaded through him, revealing more than mere judgment. For it was not only the old world that would perish, but a path was being forged for a future one of grace beyond measure. As the first drops of rain began to patter upon the ground, Noah looked up into the darkening skies, eyes wide with the unfolding mystery. The promise of salvation was at hand, revealed through the chaos. And yet, within the depths of God's sovereign plan, there lingered the whispered question of the ages: what marvels shall come forth through judgment, and who shall remember these acts of grace? The answer yet remained cloaked in divine silence, awaiting its glorious revelation. As the first drops of rain began to quicken and fall in earnest, the heavens roared with a tumultuous sound, shaking the very foundations of the earth. Darkness enveloped the landscape, and the hearts of men trembled with an awareness of the impending doom. The voice of the Lord echoed in the depths of Noah's soul, urging him to remain steadfast in faith amidst the despair that surrounded them. Noah gathered his sons together, their faces illuminated only by the dim flicker of lantern light. "Hear me, my sons," he implored, urgency lining his voice. "The time of the Lord's judgment is upon us. We must continue to prepare, for the waters shall rise, and only this ark shall prevail." Shem, ever the attentive son, spoke forth, "But father, what shall become of the mocking voices? They grow louder, despite our every effort." With a somber gaze, Noah replied, "Let their mockery fall as rain upon parched ground. For what they do not see is the mercy hidden in this judgment, as our God saves a remnant for himself." As the rain began to pour, a torrent that soaked to the very marrow of the earth, Noah turned toward the ark, now completed, a sturdy fortress meant to withstand the trials at hand. Within its wooden walls lay not only the animals, 2 by 2, but also the hope for humanity's preservation. "O Lord, I trust in your promise," he prayed, overwhelmed by the weight of the moment. The earth wailed beneath the downpour, and men of the old world scorned Noah even more. In their hearts swelled an unquenchable rage, and the skies grew dark, not just with clouds, but with the weight of despair and fury. They comforted themselves in ignorance, their hearts hardened against God's decree, seeking to drown out their fear with shouts of derision. Yet deep within the soul of each creature aboard the ark lay a divine stillness, a recognition of the Creator's hand at work. The lions roared, the birds flapped their wings in restless anticipation, and the snakes coiled in tacit awareness of the storm's might. Each one was drawn to the safe haven Noah had built, a prelude to the divine plan unfolding. Then, on the 7th day of the rain, when the skies opened like never before, the door to the ark closed with a resonant finality, as commanded by the Lord. Noah stood at the threshold, feeling the stillness that only God's presence can bring, a profound peace amidst rising chaos. Behold, the voice of the Lord spoke again, fierce yet compassionate. "I will send forth the waters upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. But as I bring this cleansing flood, know that through judgment, I shall preserve what I have deemed gracious." The rains fell harder, and the mountains trembled, pouring forth their depths. The great expanse of humanity fell silent, the cries of terror echoing through the ages, drowned by the relentless deluge. "Remember," Noah murmured, standing firm, "our faith is not in the waters that rise, but in the God who saves. His plan is beyond what we can comprehend, for even in judgment he offers grace." And so it was, as the waters surged and engulfed the land, that the world they knew began to disappear. Yet within the ark, there was hope, a flickering flame of faith nurturing the promise of what was to come. For in the depths of their trial and loss, God was weaving a new tapestry of redemption, yet revealed in hints, wrapped in the sacred mystery of His sovereign plan, a plan that would echo through generations and establish a covenant of grace far beyond their understanding. As the storm raged on, Noah whispered, "What wonders await beyond this tempest? The covenant shall be unveiled." As the waters rose, lapping insistently against the wooden hull of the ark, a great stillness pervaded the air within. The echoes of chaos faded into an ominous calm, and Noah's heart remained anchored in faith. With eyes lifted to the heavens, he pondered the words of the Almighty, which danced like flickering flames before his mind's eye. The rain fell for days, a persistent cadence of judgment upon the earth, and Noah watched through the small windows of the ark. He perceived the vastness of the flood, the landscape submerged, the once vibrant world now cloaked in a silver veil. And yet, within the confines of the ark, life pulsated with purpose as the creatures stirred a symphony of nature bound by divine sovereignty. In the depths of this purposeful confinement, issues untold circulated amongst the beasts. The raven, bold yet restless, ventured to the open skies, but the storm's grip was strong. With each futile flutter, he returned, and Noah discerned the trials faced by all within. He invoked his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, gathering them close. "Brothers," he spoke with a voice imbued with gravity, "let us understand the gravity of these events. The promises of God are unfailing, but we must grow in our resolve. His mercy is here amidst the judgment." Days turned into weeks, and the flood continued unchecked. On the 40th day, the rains suddenly ceased, the booming thunder quieted, and a stillness enveloped the ark akin to the silence before creation. Noah fell to his knees, imploring the Lord, "Do you not hear our cries? Has the time come for us to see the promise fulfilled?" Then, a new sound emerged, soft and sudden. The gentle flutter of wings whispered against the ark's wooden walls, and Noah, raising his head in astonishment, saw a dove perched patiently by a window, as if sent with a message. He reached forth, and the dove returned with an olive branch, its leaves vibrant against a backdrop of desolation. A revelation flooded his heart as he understood. God was signaling hope, a sign of His covenant with humanity. "Behold!" Noah exclaimed, joy igniting within him. "The waters will recede. A new beginning is near. Our Lord shall not abandon His creation, the earth shall rise anew." The joyous proclamation rippled through the ark, filling each creature with an ethereal serenity. Even the lions, usually fierce, lay down peacefully beside the lambs, as the spirit of harmony blossomed where once there was division. For even amidst the trials, the mark of God's design draped over creation like a garment of grace. Yet, as days turned into months, uncertainty lingered. The earth did not quickly reveal itself, and Noah grew restless. "How long must we wait, O Lord?" In this moment of weariness, the voice of God reverberated once again in his heart, urging him to understand that divine timings often keep hidden the intricacies of a greater plan. On the 77th day after the rains began, the ark finally came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat, still and silent as the world held its breath. The waters began their withdrawal, the ground slumbering beneath the remnants of judgment. Noah could scarcely contain his wonder at the sight unfolding before him, the promise of life burgeoning beyond the once chaotic storm. Upon exiting the ark, he would offer sacrifices of gratitude, calling upon the name of the Lord to declare His faithfulness. Yet as he knelt upon the renewed earth, adorned with green shoots and the fragrance of rebirth, a greater revelation loomed on the horizon, one of covenant and community. And in that sacred moment, Noah felt the stirring of something divine, a covenant unfolding that would weave through generations. "Lord," he whispered, "what awaits us in this new world? What truths will we still uncover of your merciful design? Thus, the divine tapestry of redemption continued to be woven, echoing throughout the ages, waiting to unveil mysteries only God could orchestrate, a plan far beyond the understanding of any man, yet intimately connected to the rhythm of faith and grace. As the sun broke forth from the clouds on the first day after the flood, Noah, with his heart ablaze with hope, stepped from the ark onto the fresh earth. The air was fragrant with the scent of promise, a new world awakening beneath his feet. Each creature emerged from the ark, hesitant yet curious, drawn to the beauty that surrounded them. Birds filled the skies, their songs lifting to the heavens in jubilant praise. Noah understood that they had been chosen to steward this renewed creation. He looked upon the mountains of Ararat, where the remnants of judgment lay hidden beneath the green mantle of life that now sprouted abundantly. "We are witnesses," he murmured to his sons, "to the faithfulness of our God. His mercy has availed for us, sparing our lives to fulfill His commanding purpose." In the tranquility of the moment, Noah built an altar to the Lord, gathering stones with hands that trembled in reverence. He prepared burnt offerings, the smoke rising as a fragrant offering to God. "Behold, O Lord," he cried, "we come in gratitude and reverence, recognizing your eternal promise." The fire flickered, consuming the sacrifices, and Noah felt a swell of divine presence enveloping him. Then the Lord spoke to Noah, his voice as resounding as the thunder that had once echoed in the skies. "Noah, you and your sons are the seed of a new beginning. As I establish my covenant with you, never again shall a flood destroy the earth." In that moment, a radiant rainbow arched across the sky, vibrant colors bursting forth, as a sign of God's everlasting promise. "This shall be the token of my covenant," the Lord declared, "between me and the earth." Noah and his family marveled at the celestial wonder, understanding that they were now part of a divine narrative woven through time. The Lord spoke again, "Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth." Each father and son, inspired by the divine utterance, prepared their hearts to build families and communities that would glorify the Creator. Yet, as days turned to months, the weight of administration settled on Noah. He sought wisdom as he began to decipher how to govern a world unburdened of ungodliness but filled with potential for good. The animals again divided into their habitats, and the harmony once disrupted by sin began to take shape anew, yet a question lingered, a holy tension filled the air. What shadows lingered just beyond our sight? Noah pondered. In his spirit, he sensed a whisper of unrest, as if the very ground beneath him held secrets unspoken. With every settling day, Noah felt the pulse of an encroaching darkness that hinted at an unseen struggle, echoing faintly in the caverns of his heart. Among the beasts, stories came alive. Echoes of an ancient rebellion reached Noah's ears. He learned from the whispers of creation itself not all had been lost to the flood, some remnants of the wicked past lingered. A chill coursed through him as he considered the myriad forces at play in this renewed world. Could they return? He wondered. In how many names might evil hide to creep once more into the hearts of men? The specter of violence and sin, though washed away by waters, seemed alive within the essence of man. As Noah gazed upon his sons, each a bearer of the seed of humanity, he felt a compulsion to instruct them in the ways of righteousness. "We must guard our hearts," he urged. "For even in covenant, temptation bespeaks softly, and we must remain vigilant." And it was in this very moment the unity of family strengthened through the divine covenant that a stirring of purpose illuminated the horizon. "Lord, grant us discernment," Noah cried, his heart heavily laden yet filled with resolve. "Reveal to us the depths of your plan, for I sense a greater challenge upon us, a battle beyond the waters." The tapestry of life continued to unfurl before him, yet deep within the heart of the earth, the clash of good and evil awaited unfolding, a prophecy yet to be revealed. In the silence that followed, God's sovereign voice echoed a haunting reminder through creation: "My plan is set, and it shall guide the future generations." Thus, amid the joys of renewal, the allure of hidden mysteries lingered, reminding Noah that every promise concealed within grace held the potential for confrontation and glory, beckoning still the watchful eye of faith. What unseen trials lie ahead, intricately woven within the fabric of God's eternal plan? As the days unfolded and the earth breathed anew, Noah's heart remained vigilant. Each morning, the sun kissed the mountains with its light, and the family resumed their tasks, planting seeds and tending to the land. Yet, despite the beauty surrounding him, an unease settled deep within Noah's spirit, a shadow that whispered of challenges yet unseen. One evening, as he gathered with his sons, a deep yearning welled within him to share his apprehensions. "My beloved sons," he began, his voice steady yet laced with urgency, "the world beyond these verdant fields holds mysteries we cannot yet fully comprehend. Though we have witnessed the Lord's mercy, let us not forget the lessons of the past. An unseen tension lurks, and we must be prepared." Ham, the eldest, looked upon his father with eyes of resolve. "What do you sense, father? What arises from the depths of your heart?" "It is the knowledge of what once was," Noah replied, a furrow creasing his brow. "The flood purged the earth of wickedness, yet the essence of rebellion remains a specter, ever waiting. I have seen such influences in the creation, and I fear they may rise once more." Shem, wise beyond his years, rested a hand on his father's shoulder. "Then we shall fortify our spirits. We must seek the Lord daily, for he has promised to be with us." "Yes," Japheth added, his voice echoes of encouragement. "We must remain faithful in our stewardship, lest we fall to any snares set before us. Let our actions be a testament of his righteousness." Encouraged by their unity, Noah led them in prayer, lifting his hands to the heavens, beseeching God to guard their hearts against the shadows of temptation. As the evening waned, a deep peace settled within Noah, yet the unsettling whispers in his soul refused to fade. Days turned into weeks, and Noah observed the growth of his family and the flourishing landscapes. Yet, as they toiled, the cadence of creation echoed strange notes in the wind, an unsettling reminder that all was not well in the heavenly realms. Rumors of ancient darkness began to weave through the fabric of their everyday lives, whispers of beings long banished, lingering unseen. Noah remembered the tales of the Nephilim, the mighty men of old, and how their legacy had led mankind into corruption. What if, he mused, the forces that led to their downfall are not entirely gone? What if they have found solace in other forms, infiltrating our world anew? It was during such contemplation that Noah sought solitude upon a hillside, gazing out towards the horizon. There, amidst the rolling valleys and distant peaks, he felt a sudden stirring within his spirit. The very air crackled with potential, a divine invitation, urging him to look beyond the surface. "O Lord," he cried, "grant me wisdom to discern the signs of the times. Reveal the full breadth of your plan, that we might walk in your ways." As if in response, the heavens shifted, and a tremor ran through the earth. In that moment, a vision unfurled before him, a grave warning of what was to come, a new reckoning that would test their resolve. Shadows fell upon the land, and figures cloaked in darkness stirred unseen, biding their time. Noah felt a heaviness in his heart, yet also an undeniable spark of hope igniting within him. The Lord spoke into the depths of his heart, "Fear not, for I am with you. My covenant shall not falter. The dawn of a new era approaches, and it shall unfold according to my divine purpose. Watch and be ready, for I shall show you signs that will prepare my people." In the aftermath of the revelation, Noah returned to his family, his spirit reinvigorated. "Gather," he called, "for the Lord has revealed that the road ahead will not be without peril. We must stay close to him, and to one another." With hearts renewed in faith and anticipation, they gathered, knowing that what lay ahead would challenge their covenant promise. For even amidst creation's rebirth, a greater cosmic battle loomed, one that would unveil not only the depths of their faith but also the profound unfolding of God's eternal plan. Little did they realize, in that moment of covenant reaffirmation, that the seeds of destiny were being sown, seeds that would carry the weight of redemption through the ages, heralding a battle beyond what any could comprehend. What cosmic forces dance at the edge of their vision, intertwining the fates of heaven and earth? As rumbles echoed from the farthest corners of creation, the time would soon come to unveil the incredible truth behind God's mysterious design. As the days passed, Noah's family remained steadfast in their tasks, yet an undercurrent of trepidation lingered in their hearts. The beauty of the earth did not erase the growing awareness of shadows dancing just beyond the periphery of their lives. With each day, The chilling tales murmured by the wind stirred memories of the past, and fanned the flames of Noah's vigilance. One morning, as the rising sun painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Noah gathered his sons beneath the great oak that stood firm in their yard. He sensed the weight of the day's purpose, a significance that pressed upon him. "My sons," he began, his voice imbued with a somber urgency, "today, we must seek the counsel of the Lord. The promises He has made to us must not be taken lightly, nor must we become complacent in our resolve." Shem, attentive as ever, nodded. "Let us approach Him with humble hearts, for He is our refuge and strength." They knelt beside the gnarled roots of the oak, entwined like their lives before the Creator. With fervent prayer, they cried out to God, invoking His guidance, fervently seeking to understand the mysteries around them. As they prayed, a wind began to swirl around them, rustling the leaves as if the very heavens were responding. Then, as if layered by a divine mantle, the presence of the Lord enveloped them, and Noah felt the familiar stirrings of the Spirit. Suddenly, a vision unfolded. Before him stretched a vast expanse, a harrowing scene where legions of shadows prowled, their forms twisted and grotesque, whispering dark hopes of rebellion against the order of God. Noah's heart raced, the weight of the revelation pressing down upon him. He beheld among the brooding figures entities resembling the Nephilim, striking yet terrifying, their ferocity unmatched by men. The vision morphed, and he glimpsed continents marked by strife and turmoil, where these forces sought to dominate. "O Lord," he gasped, "are these the remnants of those cast down?" The voice of God resonated within him, clear and resolute. "Indeed, my faithful servant. What you see is the consequence of choices made long ago. Yet, even in their defiance, my light will shine forth. The battle is not yours alone, it is a cosmic struggle, infused with my sovereign purpose." As the vision faded, Noah's spirit soared and trembled in equal measure. He returned to his sons, who awaited his words with anticipation. "Brothers," he called, burdened yet determined, "the Lord has shown me that darkness stirs once more across the earth. We stand at a precipice, a place where the choices of the past threaten to shape our future." Ham's brow furrowed. "What must we do, Father? How can we combat what has risen in obscurity?" Noah, filled with divine insight, placed his hand upon Ham's shoulder. "We must anchor ourselves in faith. Our actions must reflect our trust in God. His promise is our shield, and our unity is our strength. Let our hearts be steadfast, for the time draws near when the veil between realms will thin." As twilight descended upon the horizon, a palpable tension enveloped them, not just among their family but woven through the very fabric of creation. Each of them sensed the impending trials as celestial beings watched and waited, their purposes unfolding in a dance of divine choreography. Noah extended his hands towards the heavens, praying, "O Lord, grant us wisdom and courage to face the trials that await, to be instruments of your will." The darkness that loomed above seemed to tremble at his plea, and for a moment, the air shimmered with divine energy, igniting hope in their hearts. Little did they know the weight of their call. As the ground trembled beneath them, a divine plan began to unfurl. Across the fathomless oceans and under stunning skies, an order unknown was being established, and the path to redemption lay ahead, weaving through the truth of all things concealed. What lies in the depths of the earth, waiting to be discovered? What elements of God's grand design lurk in shadows unseen, heralding the dawn of a greater confrontation? The fullness of His plan beckons, and the time is drawing nigh for the unveiling of a saga more profound than they could ever imagine. In the stillness of night, as the stars bore silent witness, Noah lingered in prayer, his heart heavy with the burden of the vision he had received. His sons, sensing the weight of the moment, gathered close, their breaths mingling with the cool breeze that whispered through the branches. The light of the moon illuminated their faces, each etched with a resolve forged in divine communion. Noah spoke, his voice imbued with celestial authority. "Hear me, my beloved sons. The Lord has shown me a future fraught with peril, yet filled with hope. These shadows that haunt our world are not mere figments of fear, they have substance, and they are advancing with fervor. Our family stands as a bastion against this tide, a fortress built upon faith." Shem, eyes wide and intent, replied, then we must fortify our hearts and our minds. What can we do to prepare for what lies ahead? Noah breathed deeply, as if gathering the very breath of creation. We must not only trust but also act. Gather every resource, every tool the Lord has provided us. Build well the ark, for it is a symbol of salvation, a covenant of protection against the waves of chaos. Ham glanced toward the horizon, where dark clouds began to gather. And if these forces seek to overpower us, how do we fend them off? What weapons do we wield against shadows that seek our destruction? No earthly weapon can withstand the fury we face, Noah answered solemnly, his voice rich with prophetic urgency. But the name of the Lord is a strong tower. We shall battle through prayer, through unity, and through righteous living. The truth he has imparted to us must be our sword, and love our shield. Japheth stepped forward, fiery determination blazing in his eyes. If we are to be instruments of his will, then let us share this truth with others. We must call upon those who might stand with us, warning them of the storm that threatens to consume the earth. Noah nodded at his sons, pride swelling within him. Indeed, our family shall be a beacon of light in these dark days. But remember, the Lord preserves his chosen ones for a purpose. Just as he saved Noah from the flood, so shall we set forth to prepare the way for his divine plan. With that, they rose and set about their labor, each heartbeat resonating with the rhythm of divine urgency. Joins of timber creaked under their touch, resonating as the wood called to life the foundations of their covenant with God. Each swing of the hammer echoed with the promise of hope. As they continued their work, Noah paused, feeling a strange pull in his spirit. He cast his gaze upward into the vast expanse of the heavens. O Lord, let heaven's will be made manifest upon the earth, he intoned, sensing the spiritual battle intensifying both within and around him. The wind whipped at his cloak, a reminder of the unseen forces stirring just beyond his sight. In that moment of solemnity, from the depths of the earth came a rumble, a manifestation of the conflict brewing in realms unseen. The earth shook, not out of fear, but as the very creation awaited its deliverance through the faithful. And within that trembling, a quiet voice whispered words of reassurance amid the encroaching darkness. For behold, the voice promised, I am doing a new thing. Even now, I will reveal wonders that will alter the course of history. The hearts of mankind shall turn, and the hidden shall be made known. My power reigns beyond the veil. The time was ripe, and the stage set for a grand revelation, as light and darkness prepared for an encounter that would yield consequences far beyond their comprehension. What hidden truths lie waiting beneath the frozen expanse, waiting to unveil a cosmic battle? How will the unfolding of his will reshape both heaven and earth? As the shadows deepen, the Lord beckons his faithful to prepare for the incredible. As the days turned to weeks and then to months, the atmosphere hung heavy with the anticipation of what was to come. Noah's heart, steadfast yet burdened, remained attuned to the divine whispers that spoke of trials and triumphs alike. The rain had long ceased, but the weight of responsibility rested upon his shoulders. In the shadow of the mountains of Ararat, he knew that his family's role as stewards of creation carried the legacy of faith, a guiding light in a world that still trembled on the brink of chaos. One evening, as the sun dipped low, casting golden hues across the landscape, Noah gathered his sons beneath the ancient oak. My beloved sons, he began, his voice deep with conviction, we stand at a crucial juncture. The forces of darkness that once gripped the earth have not vanished. Their remnants linger, seeking to ensnare our hearts and lead us astray. Shem, wide-eyed with understanding, spoke forth, Father, what shall we do to protect ourselves and those who follow the path of righteousness? Noah, gazing at the setting sun with a heart full of purpose, replied, We shall fortify ourselves in prayer and guard our hearts with the truths of God. Together we will walk in holiness, for our faith must shine as a beacon amidst the shadows. Ham, with fiery resolve, added, Let us gather those around us, and share the witness of God's deliverance. Let us be a voice in the wilderness, warning others of what lies ahead. With their resolve fortifying one another, the family set forth to implement the Lord's decree, to be fruitful and multiply, and to replenish the earth as faithful stewards of creation. They called upon neighbors and distant kin, sharing the testimony of the ark and the promise of a new covenant. hope flickered in the hearts of many who had long been steeped in disbelief, igniting the flame of expectation for the Sovereign's plan. Yet amid the fervor, the shadows began to stir, echoing discontent. In distant valleys and secluded places, remnants of the fallen whispered sweet temptations and vile betrayals. As Noah and his family labored to establish their new lives, they remained ever vigilant, for they understood that the battle was not tangible alone, but spiritual, coursing through the very fabric of creation. On a day unlike any other, a darkness loomed over the horizon, a palpable tension that gripped the land. The air crackled, as uncertainty gnawed at Noah's spirit. In that moment of unrest, as the winds whispered through the ancient oak, the voice of the Lord thundered in his heart, "The time has come for the unveiling of my mighty works." Noah, sensing the divine summons, called his family together once more. "Prepare yourselves. We are to witness the works of the Lord on this day. A new revelation shall unfold, one that will solidify the covenant and bring forth a reckoning." He led his sons in fervent prayer, lifting their hearts to the heavens. In that instant, the clouds parted, revealing multitudes of heavenly hosts, descending to intertwine with creation's purpose. They carried messages of hope, promise, and judgment, a testament of God's unyielding faithfulness. As the ethereal presence enveloped them, Noah felt the weight of grace washing over his spirit. The Lord spoke again, "You shall be my ambassadors, proclaiming both the grace and the severity of my ways. For through you, a remnant shall be saved, a new culture of righteousness shall emerge, rooted in the knowledge of the holy." With renewed strength, Noah and his family took bold steps into this divine narrative, preparing to face whatever forces rose against them. The time for complacency was over. It was a sacred appointment set in the annals of eternity. As they ventured forth, planting the seeds of righteousness, the earth itself began to respond. The mountains echoed with the jubilation of the renewal that had taken place, as the harmonious sounds of creation worshipped their Creator. The animals thrived, their movements reflecting the peace that enveloped them, a peace that only came from the direct hand of God. Despite the rejoicing around them, a weighty awareness of the lurking darkness lingered. Noah, ever watchful, warned his family, "We must be alert. The enemy prowls like a lion, seeking to devour the unguarded heart. We stand not only for ourselves, but for the generations to follow. Faith, resilience, and community will be our shields." The family devoted themselves to the ways of the Lord, cultivating not just the fruitful fields, but also their relationships grounded in love, trust, and accountability. They established gatherings to share the love of God, drawing in those hungry for truth. With steadfast hearts and unyielding faith, they began to witness the profound impact of their labor. Then one day, an unexpected visitor arrived, a wandering prophet, cloaked in humility yet radiating with the Spirit of God. He spoke of impending challenges that lay ahead, yet instilled hope rooted in the covenant. "Fear not, for the Lord is with you, a very present help in trouble. His promises remain true, and through the storms that shall rise you shall stand firm." Encouraged, Noah and his family embraced their calling as a community of faith, determined to bear witness to the grace that had saved them. They knew the shadows would not relent, yet felt empowered to face whatever evil might encroach upon the earth, fortified by the unbreakable bond of family and the unwavering promise of their God. Thus, their story wove itself into the grand narrative of redemption, echoing throughout generations as a reminder that even in the darkest hour, the light of hope never fades. The covenant established would not only protect them but carry the weight of divine purpose forward, ensuring the echoes of faith and grace resounded through the ages. As they stood hand in hand, gazing into the boundless horizon, Noah lifted his face toward the heavens and proclaimed, "We are the remnant of your promise, O Lord. Guide us, strengthen us, fortify our hearts for the journey ahead. For this we know, your faithfulness endures forever." And so, with a renewed vigor instilled in each heart, they faced the new day, ready to embrace the unfolding divine narrative, awaiting the unveiling of the incredible truth that lay ahead. And dear friends, as you reflect upon this sacred journey of Noah and his family, consider how the battle of faith continues today. You need to subscribe now to stay connected to God's Word and not miss the powerful biblical stories that can transform lives. This is the moment to help spread biblical truth, so please leave a like to ensure God's message reaches farther. I invite you to comment your spiritual reflections and how this story of redemption has impacted your faith. Don't wait even one more second to share this powerful testimony with at least 5 friends who need to hear God's truth, for together, we are champions of the faith, heralding His message to all the earth.